Hello, this is Jeremy from SpraySync, and today we're going to go through our integration with the Raven SCS 450 sprayer controller. The Raven 450 is a controller that has 6 switches. You can see up at the top there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there, and with a master on and off. What we see here on the left is what is called the console control cable. That comes right from the back of the unit, right to here. And this cable here is the flow control cable, and this is usually the typical setup. There might be a number of extension cables between the console cable and the flow control cable. So kind of depending on your system, you might see a couple other cables in there, but the wiring harness that we've built taps right into this system. So you can put it either up at the back where the console cable comes into the back, or you can put it right here, at any point in the system where you have these connectors hooking up. What this wiring harness does is right here, this is the one we create, and then we tap in, we use the same connectors that are already in the console cable, and we splice into it, and then we have the cable that runs out of here and into our SpraySync monitor box. To connect this in, the first step we want to do is obviously we want to turn off power. Now I'm going to turn it around to the back and unscrew the cable from the console cable from the back. You'll see at the back of the unit, you just twist to the left counterclockwise and it'll come right out. And what you have here is a 16-pin connector. We take our wiring harness, and it has only one way that it can go in. So the same way that the console cable was out by screw, we screw this back in the same way. And the section that you unscrewed before just goes right into this other end. It'll be the same exact connector and mate right up. So that's it. The other thing that you can do if you don't like connecting it directly to the console cable is you can connect it at any point in here. So if you wanted to find at the end of the console cable and before the flow control cable, you could connect it at any point. But we suggest that you do it where everything is inside the cab. That way the mounting of the SpraySync monitor box can be in the cab along with the harness and the cable, so that nothing actually has to be outside and get rained on or be outside and get dusty. Keep it all inside the cab if you can. Makes it easier for mounting and a lot more secure. Now that we've got the cable, our wiring harness plugged in, and we've got the other end plugged right into the SpraySync monitor box right there, we've got our tablet where the USB goes out of our SpraySync monitor box and into the tablet mount. That's how we communicate. So our next step here is I already have a preset that I've set up that is for this vehicle, for the Raven 450. So there's a little tractor vehicle icon, and I've got the Raven SCS 450 selected. And what that allows you to do is in the switch config, off on the left menu there, you'll see that I have the 6 booms. You'll see here in the switch config that I have each of the booms configured to the exact length of what your boom or boomless nozzles spray out. So no matter what your configuration that you actually have in your vehicle, you just map each of the boom sections to what it actually is spraying when it hits the ground. So now I'm going to show how it looks on the map after I've picked that Raven 450 as the vehicle. And you only have to set that up once, and then all of your tablets or all your vehicles that have a Raven 450 will have the same configuration if you want it that way. So I'll go ahead, I'm going to turn on the master switch. I don't have any booms on, so I'm going to hit boom 1, and that is 20 foot out to the right to 30 foot out to the right, so a 10-foot swath out to the left of the vehicle. I got switch 2 on now, just only switch 2, and that's 10 feet to 20 feet out to the left of the vehicle. I'll hit switch 3 at the same time, keep those both on. It'll show 0 foot to 10 foot out to the left of the vehicle. Now I'm going to hit switch 4, which is 0 feet, 10 feet out to the right. So you'll see if you have multiple switches on, it'll show them all as one swath together. So now I'm going to turn off all those switches. I'll turn on, let's do 4, 5, and 6. And so 4, 5, and 6 are all 0 foot to 10 foot to 20 foot, 30 foot out to the right. So that's why it's showing right now 0 to 30 foot out to the right. I'll go ahead and turn off the master switch, so then all of them turn off all at once. I'll turn on the master switch and you'll see it all come back on again. So you can see it's a pretty flexible system. You just map the switches. You know, when you hit the booms, you just say what it's spraying, and that's how the system maps and knows how to calculate acres applied. And also, if you have a flow rate set up in there in ounces per acre, it'll show right there, because we know the acres, it'll show you the amount of ounces of chemical that you have applied. That more than likely, because you're using the Raven 450, you've got pretty good calibration set up. That's a pretty solid control box there. When it comes to mounting options for the SpraySync monitor box, you've got a few. So the boxes that we have, they all have a flange at the bottom on both sides. So if you look at it, you've got 4 screw holes to be able to put screws or bolts, whatever you need to put it down to something. The box is aluminum, so those you'll be able to get those down pretty solid. Those same mounting flanges can be used to put our pole mount adapter on. So a lot of these, more of the stuff like the Raven 450 and other more heavy duty, bigger controller boxes are oftentimes on a bracket of some sort, whether it's a square pole or a round pole. So this pole mount comes in real handy. It's very heavy duty. Just use standard like hose clamps, and you can tighten them down real good. It works real well. So that's one other option, if that that allows it to keep it close to the Raven 450 as it's mounted. And then another option is, if sometimes it can be more convenient if you put it inside of a glove box, or just maybe you have a surface underneath the seat or on the floor of the vehicle. So it's works pretty good to actually, if you just have Velcro, to put a big rectangular piece of Velcro on here and then have something that you stick it down to. It won't really move. It's heavy, but it's also low profile. So usually that's a strategy we'll use if we're mounting it inside of a glove compartment or a glove box, to make sure that it's in there and can usually fit, but to also make sure it doesn't move around, because there are the cables and stuff that are coming out of the side. That is how everything attaches to it. Both the USB and the other cable come through it. So those are some good mounting options for the SpraySync monitor box. As far as the tablet goes, so this tablet is what we use here is a mount from it'll either be one of a couple different companies, but the tablet is a Samsung Galaxy Tab Active 3. It's a Samsung ruggedized tablet, so it's the one we use for the environments of out spraying, whether you're in a UTV or in a vehicle. And these mounts, you can just click and pop the tablet out. It actually is powered by pogo pins on the bottom to make it easy. So the mount is powered by a cigarette adapter. You can kind of see that. So it's just powered by cigarette adapter, or one of the other tablet mounts we have might be powered by a USB that is into a cigarette adapter. So ultimately, cigarette adapter, but we also we don't use it often, but we do have an option if you need to hardwire to the battery in the vehicle. And this, we kind of look at, there's this standard amps hole pattern that RAM mounts uses, and we kind of use that. So there's, on the back of this tablet mount, there's just different mounts for different things, and this is different types. This is a C type of ball. If you know or have looked at any RAM mount stuff, they'll have like a C type ball that's a bigger one. There's a B type that's smaller. Either one works. And this is kind of what we, you have that, and then we just find some way to mount it in there, right? There's all kinds of options. There's cup holder mounts. There's, you can just bolt directly to if you've got a metal bracket. And notice also, so this has USB coming out of it. So our SpraySync monitor box needs USB to power the SpraySync monitor box and also transfer data. So that's why we use these mounts that allow you to power the tablet at the same time through the cradle as you get USB data. So it's kind of a specialized system. So yeah, that's how it works. This USB cable is around, it should be about 10 feet long. So, and the harness that we have, that cable coming out of that harness will be about 12 feet long. So you've got plenty of room if you decide you want to put things wherever you want in your vehicle. Well, thanks, and just reach out to me if you've got any questions about the Raven 450 and how we hook it up with SpraySync. Looking forward to tracking your spraying this year.